roster of voice acting anime actors? Yes? All right. Awesome. So we're going to start calling them up. So first we have with us Erica Mendez. Possibly May. Erica Mendez, come on down. All right. Then we have Laura Post. Laura, come on down. And we have Marianne Miller. Hi, Marianne.
I got this. Totally.
Crashing the party, we have Matt Mercer. Don't do that. We have David Vincent.
I could help.
We have Mary Elizabeth. McGlynn. Do we have anybody else back there? Is that everybody that's here right now? All right. So we have a few other chairs set up because there have been rumors that there might be other people coming. So I'm going to stand over here so I can be out of the table pattern. I'll pull up the trusty iPhone notes.
Yeah, I know. No, I haven't eaten today.
And we're going to start out with everybody introduce yourself. We'll start with you, Erica. Just everybody kind of introduce yourself, talk about some of the stuff you've been in anime-wise. Obviously, you don't have to go through your full IMDb.
I'm
That might take a while.
right now because I just smell a burger. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Erica Mendez. I am Ryuko in Kill la Kill. I'm Nico in Love Live. I'm the new voice of Sailor Uranus and Sailor Moon. And I'm Gon Freaks in Hunter x Hunter. Yay!
I wasn't prepared for this for some reason. You'd think I would be. I'm Laura Post. I'm Diana Cavendish in Little Witch Academia. Yeah, you. Thanks. I'm Nozomi Tojo in Love Live. And Cindy Campbell in Squid Girl and Ragyo Kiryuin in Kill la Kill. So.
Hi, I'm Marianne Miller. I was in Madoka as the only boy in that show. I was in Sword Art as Rekon, the obnoxious green-haired kid who gets friend-zoned. That one guy's going to get real excited because I was also in Little Witch as Amanda. And I'm in Lego Friends as one of the main characters, but I don't think that's quite the right demographic. I mean, you guys aren't like 8-year-old girls, are you? Well, I don't know.
Did you like My Little Pony?
Yeah. That's it.
Woo! Yeah. Woo, woo, woo! Everything I've done, not a single thing more.
Hi, I'm Ben Diskin. My name is Matthew Mercer. Voice actor, always find folks here. A lot of games, cartoons. Recent things, Leorio in Hunter x Hunter on Toonami. Levi in Attack on Titan. Let's see. An Overwatch just came out. McCree, the cowboy. It's a fun one. And other sorts of crazy fun times. Whee! I haven't slept.
Hi, my name is Vic Mignogna, and you can hear me in
His gorgeous locks.
How are you,
Full Metal Alchemist.
How are you?
My name's David Vincent. You can hear me as Grimjow in Bleach. Thank you. Senketsu in Kill la Kill. Any Smash Brothers fans out there? Awesome. You can hear me as Robin in Smash Brothers. Martial Law in Tekken, which I don't know if I reprised my role or not. But, and then also a whole bunch of Jin Kisaragi in Blaze Blue. There seems to be a lot of Blaze Blue fans.
Yeah.
So, excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Steve Bloom. I'm Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, and hi guys! It's so nice to see you all. I'm so excited to be here. I was Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell, and Kurenai and Naruto, and Hadai's Hilda and Outlaw Star, and Naoto and Persona 4, lots of stuff. I sang all the Silent Hill songs. That was fun. Yes, and I'm so excited to be here. It's just really cool. We've been going all day, and it's just amazing. Thank you all for being here and supporting us and what we do. So yay.
And now to all the important people have announced themselves. I'm Jess Roberts. I'm the moderator with Rec Level 3 on Project Radio Network. So like nobody has to clap because you don't know me. Moving along. All right. So I thought we'd start off with something kind of fun. You guys seem like a fun group of people. Everything that I've heard you in, you sound kind of fun. So you guys all kind of get in kind of zany situations with your characters?
No.
No? Maybe a little? Just sometimes, maybe? So what type of zany situations have you gotten in real life? Maybe in the studio, maybe just chilling at home, maybe with the characters. Erica started off. I know you've got something zany in there.
I don't know if it's like incredibly zany, but just on Sunday I came back from the airport and I have this like joke with somebody where I kind of like run into them, kind of like shoulder check them a bit, and then they don't know who I am because I try to be a ninja about it. And they'll apologize profusely until they realize it's me. So I did this at the airport, running with my heavy luggage, shoulder checked this person, bounced off of them. My luggage fell. I felt myself falling, so I turned around and like fell on my back and slid across the floor.
That's pretty zany.
I didn't hurt myself, but it was really embarrassing because 6 other of my friends were there. So, yeah, I'm good.
Good job.
What about you, Laura?
I don't know. This is hard. These are hard questions. This was like, what was your favorite character? No,
Everybody asked you that already. So.
I know. Well, it's not zany, but it's me being the incredibly awkward human that I am. So, I'm at a studio. I'm recording like a ton of commercials that day, and I'm on a break. They're getting approval for the commercials, and someone comes in and sits down. He's like, "You look familiar." And I would like this to play out in real time, so please say you look familiar to me.
You look familiar.
I'm sorry. See, what happened is I'm a big fan of Rent, and so you said you look familiar, and then what happened in my head is it went like your dead girlfriend, and then I realized that's not appropriate to say to someone you've never met before. So, sorry about that. Hi, I'm Laura. You look familiar too. And that's how I met Max Middleman. Yeah. Fortunately, he also thought it was funny, at least. I am just so bad at humaning. Yeah, so there you go. It's not
That
wacky,
totally
but
counts.
it's awkward.
Totally counts.
I like it.
Is it zany if I dated myself? Like, I went
that would
out on
kinda
a
count.
date with myself? Because as soon as I was in a game where I played, like, a character that I could date, I dated myself so hard. Like, I was in the first game that I was in where I could do that was called Avalon Code for the DS, and it was like this little RPG, and it was cute and everything, but like, I was like the stud muffin. I was beautiful. And
Did you play with yourself?
I did. But the worst part is that the character, when you reach like max affection, he breaks into your house and tells you that he loves you. And like, you guys know when you're matching like Japanese audio, you only have so much time. So like, he said skida. So I had to try and say I love you in the middle of the night to myself. And the only way I could get it to match the timing was if I was like, I love you.
So you stalked yourself.
I did. I dated myself, stalked myself, screamed at myself, and broke into my own home. And it's pretty zany.
That was awesome.
You got to top that
I mean, zany things that have happened to me that I can legally talk about? I mean, industry-wise, a lot of weird things happen. One of my fun zany experiences was working on a game Taliesin Jaffe was directing. It was called Akiba Strip. And it's a crazy game where you defeat vampires by beating them up and their clothes go away.
Yes.
Grand old Nippon. And as part of the direction, they gave him carte blanche to essentially do whatever he wanted to for ancillary characters, and there was one of the voice options that you can unlock in the game and attribute to NPCs, and it's just foreigner. In the Japanese version, it was an American, but they couldn't just have an American accent because everyone else had that.
Yeah.
So Taliesin goes, Matt, do what you want. I'm like, all right, for the purposes of this, he's Scottish. And we did all the lines like, hello, welcome to my shop, and all these things, including like awkward like massage noises, like, oh, is that getting what it's supposed to? Does that feel nice? You know? And then we found out from the producer after we recorded it that they could attribute those voices to anyone, including like the super moe like maid cafe girls. So you just walk in and have this big, doughy-eyed, adorable brunette girl in a maid outfit go like, welcome, would you like some tea? And I think that's a greater selling point for the game than really any other aspect, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm going to go buy a copy, so.
I think you need to.
As far as any like zany, wacky things that have one that sticks out to my mind is this was years and years ago during Tekken 6. And I had got cast as Martial Law. And Martial Law is a character, for those of you who don't know, he's based on loosely on Bruce Lee, who is my childhood hero growing up. And so when I got cast as this character, I was like, yes! And I had gone into the booth, we were at a cup of tea with Lady and Danny, and then they had a number of the Japanese producers that had come over from Tokyo. And I was in there, and Danny looks at me and she says, okay, David, are you ready? And I said, I am. And she says, we're rolling. And so I busted out with my first... And all of a sudden, the Japanese producers are looking at each other and they're going, oh, and I'm thinking to myself, like, God, they hate me, I'm fired. And he looks at me and he goes, you do best Bruce Lee for white man. Yeah! Made it!
Achievement unlocked.
Yes! Huge compliment.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome, Daichi.
Wow. Okay, I was in a studio, we were doing Halo, one of the Halos, I don't remember which one, I was just doing incidental voices, and at the end I had to do a sound set, which we do for a lot of games, which is a lot of fighting efforts. And the director, I think it was Chris Borders, said, you know, the easiest thing to do would probably just be to have you parrot the guy version of you. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I said, if you just like give me, so it's like almost like a tennis match of right? So whoever I parodied, turned out I was parodying Steve Bloom, which was really fun. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. And then he says, there are about 25 of these. And I was like, okay, awesome. So it's like this great tennis back and forth, and I'm matching everything perfectly. And around the 21st one, I farted while I did it. So it was and at the same time, and I just looked over at the engineer. Nobody batted an eye, so I just kept going. We finished up, and I was like, you guys need to pick up anything? You okay? And they're like, no, we're good. And I was like, I just farted in a video game. And it's my fart, and I was so proud. It was great. There's a lot of farting that goes on in these studios, just so you know.
The mics pick up everything.
Yep, they're very sensitive to moisture. Somebody said that the other day. I was directing Alfred Molina the other day for Pen Zero, and he said I was very close to a microphone once, and they made me go back. The engineer said, you know, it's very sensitive to moisture. And I'm like, all right, back off. So weird. Sorry, I'm tired too. How are you?
I am very concerned about my future line of questioning now. Might have to change some of these.
Oh, this is no holds barred.
All right, so everybody has fun stories. Obviously, you have a little bit of personality or you wouldn't be in this line of business. If you were making a game or anime about yourself, if somebody was going to do a life story of Erica, Laura, or the whole group of you together, which would actually be really funny, who would you want voicing yourself, and what would the actual show or game be like? Don't ask the easy ones. I don't have the easy ones.
No,
Erica, you're first.
No, let's start on the other side this time.
Okay, left side.
All right.
Sorry.
It would be Matt Mercer voicing me as a Scottish gaseous cloud floating through the Milky Way. An example would be...
Hey, I'm Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Sorry.
I farted with my butt.
It was flopping.
Oh, look, there's Orion.
What's going on?
It's hard to top that one, Mary. I would say who would voice me, it would be Patrick Stewart voicing the action hero, Mr. Clean.
Yes!
Defeating the creepy germs.
Make it so.
Make it so. The cavity creeps, yeah.
I'd get Troy Baker to voice me because that would be hilarious. And it would be kind of a harem anime, but instead of girls, they're all different video games that I don't have time to play. And it would be titled, Who Needs Sunlight?
Bravo. I think if I were to make a game about my life, it would be an otome, which is like, when it's a dating sim where you date dudes, and it would be all of my current husbandos, which is like Captain America, Chris Evans, because they are different people. Like Alistair from Dragon Age, just all the beautiful men you can think of. And I would be voiced by Amy Schumer. Oh no, I'd be played by Amy Schumer. And she would just awkwardly hit on them the whole time. So it'd be like real life, like real close to real life. Me awkwardly hitting on Captain America.
I would watch the crap out of that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, you want to help me with the pilot?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, my game would be a straight ripoff of Katamari. And it would just be getting me to eat all of the foods. You could also consider it Pac-Man. It's like Pac-Man and Katamari had a baby. And it's just me trying to eat all the foods. And I think just because he voices everyone, it would be Troy Baker, because Troy Baker. So there you go.
I would probably be voiced by Aubrey Plaza. And it'd be like a rhythm game, but instead of like the good, perfect, it'd be me just insulting. Even if you did good, and then when you do bad, it's a sarcastic, like, really? So, I don't know. I don't know. It'd just be weird, I guess.
I approve.
I like it.
I'll play that game.
2 copies.
Yeah. 3 copies.
Pre-order already.
So right here is the first Kickstarter for like everything for next year's viewing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Coming soon from Funimation.
So going back in time to your first ever voiceover in anime, your first dub on anime that you just absolutely loved, you saw this, you're like, oh, I want to be that person. So your first time you get to do it, what was going through your mind as you're getting ready to start coming up with a voice for a character that you've loved or that other people have loved? We'll start with you, Eric. Yeah, you started the left to right thing, so.
Well, my first, or is it like the one that we did? The first one that I did was this really old anime adaptation of Treasure Island. So I auditioned for this character as the main young boy in it, and I just auditioned with like a regular like young boy voice, and I get into the studio and they're like, hey, can you do British? And this is like, again, my very first thing, so I hadn't worked on accents at that point, and I was like, no, because I didn't want them to hate me. And if they thought it wasn't going to be right, I didn't want them to force me to do it. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just still go with it. So they taught me a British accent during the session. I don't know, like, it was a weird experience. So I don't know if I could be like, yeah, that was like one of the best one or most fun ones I did, because it was a weird, painful experience trying to get me to do that.
My first anime was I didn't know what it was. Like it's not like, oh, I love this show and so I totally know it. I'm like, I don't know anything that's going on. I was a cat girl, and most of the thoughts going through my mind were, man, it is really hard to look at the screen and look at the script at the same time, because it was my first job. So yeah, that. I'm a pro, guys. It's totally okay.
My first thing was in the first Full Metal Alchemist movie. That was like the first job I'd ever booked, and it was Walla, and it had one spoken line, and it was "There it is, the carnival," You're welcome. That'll be $75. And it was just really surreal because like I'd been a fan of Full Metal Alchemist for such a long time, and like the big reason why I was part of it is because I had like gotten to know the director, Mike McFarland, and like he called me in when I was in town recording my demo with Vic Mignogna 10 years ago. Yeah, it was just like, it was really weird because, you know, I'd been wanting to be an actor since I was 11 years old, and I had finally booked my first job, and it was on a show that I loved so much, so it was really humbling. And it continues to be humbling, sometimes too humbling, but yeah.
That is the nature of the career, yes. Oh man, my first voiceover project in general was an anime, and it was doing Walla for at Madgate Studios on the Fist of the North Star series, not the film, the series, which I love Fist of the North Star. Ken Shiro is badass, and I watched all that stuff, so it was really cool to go in there, and I'm like, cool, what are we doing? 3 hours of heads exploding. Cool. By about hour 2, you're like, this isn't cool anymore. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Another, you need 2 more takes, okay. This is hard. So yeah, a very humbling in a different way introduction to a career in voiceover. But I was really excited it was Fist of the North Star, and I got to be a bunch of guys whose heads exploded. Woo!
I actually have an interesting story about how I got into my first anime. I had actually gotten my start in New York City as an actor on stage and doing stand-up comedy and theater and whatnot, and I had been doing voiceover professionally for about 8-9 years. I had since moved to Los Angeles, and this is funny because he's actually one of the guests here, and his better half is sitting next to me. We were, you guys know who Steve Bloom is, obviously. And so, oh my God!
He's a good up-and-comer. You'll know about him soon.
Yeah, you'll know about him soon if you don't. Well, anyway, Steve and I had the same agent, and Steve and I had gotten to know each other over really a course of years, just being in the same office and auditioning for this stuff. And Steve and I were in the booth at our agent's office one day, auditioning for some commercial, and Steve looks over at me and he goes, "Hey, Dave." "Yeah, Steve, what's up, man? You ever do any anime?" Totally true! Steve, it's true! He gave me the number to Kevin Seymour. And he goes, "You should do anime." And so I got the number to the late great Kevin Seymour. And I went in to Kevin, and I think it was Yukikaze or Ghost in the Shell. And I went in there kind of cocky because I had been doing voiceover for a number of years at this point, and I had never done ADR before. And Kevin took mercy on me, and it was like, "You've never done ADR?" I'm like, "No." And so he actually taught me the ropes as far as doing ADR. But yes, thank you, Steve Bloom, for giving me the intro into the world of anime.
Yay! Let's see. I came to LA to be on Star Trek. That's what I wanted to do with my master's degree, and I ended up taking over the part of Diva, Queen of the Bugram Empire in El Hazard the Wanderers. Now, it turned out that she sounded a lot like Kate Mulgrew, so I started doing this character that was a lot like Kate Mulgrew the entire time. And I kept auditioning for on-camera stuff, and I finally got on Star Trek Voyager, right? So this was like one of my favorite things in the world, and this has nothing to do with the answer. I'm just going to tell the story anyway. So the last day, I was arrested in Med Lab because my character was arrested, and Kate Mulgrew came in, and she's sort of sitting down there on one of the cots in Med Lab, and she goes, "So how was your time on Voyager?" And I was this close to being, "It was wonderful, Kate. I was very happy to be here." But that was my first. I had never really known. I was a classically trained actor. I'd watched cartoons my entire life, and in fact, watching really badly dubbed live-action karate movies was like one of my favorite things to do in high school. It was just like, what's on Saturday morning, you know? And then Mystery Science Theater came out, and I was like, you know. But I didn't know you could actually make a living at that, and you kind of can still, which is nice, so that's how I started.
So speaking of badly dubbed,
Yeah.
there are obviously some anime that are not quite as well dubbed as others, and some that are. What do you guys think as far as like for voice acting and the talent behind it? Like, what is the process that goes into dubbing an anime that makes some easier and some harder?
I believe it's all in the writing, to be honest. I think when you've got a finite amount of time to express a thought with a certain amount of flaps, you need a really good writer. And that is, to me, that's the saving grace of all good dubbing is time, money, and great writing. Because if we don't have to sit in there and just be like, okay, we're 5 flaps short or we're 6 flaps over, we can spend the time on acting. If it's done really well, we get to focus on the acting to make it as good as possible and not having to rewrite every single line, which sort of takes the wind out of your sails, especially if it's a really good project that you're passionate about.
I think, and just to add on to what Mary Elizabeth said, is absolutely 100% the director that you're working with as well. For me, makes a huge difference. If I'm able to really, to communicate with that director, and then the director can communicate the passion to me of what this project and what's happening in it, and just that. When you connect on something, it makes all the difference in the world as well. So great writing and great direction.
What they said. Yeah, I mean, like there's not a whole lot much to elaborate on. Those are 2 very key elements to performance. I mean, making sure that you're casting people that are right for the roles as well.
Yeah.
But people who are training as performers and are stepping into this arena, the volume of individuals that are interested in actually doing dubbing is a much larger volume than it was 20 years ago when anime first came on the scene. In those days it was, all right, who in the office can do some lines for me? Like, my friend Dave does community theater, we'll have him come in and be this old guy, even though he's 16, and like, that was how it started, and so it kind of put a bad rap in the dubbing realm, and I think since then, people have really stepped into the industry and, with a lot of respect and appreciation for it, and that's really elevated the level of quality overall by bringing in talented people to do good writing, do good directing, and actors who take it seriously.
Yeah, and time and money. We had, when we did Cowboy Bebop, I had 2 weeks for 3 episodes. So we recorded for a week and a half for 3 episodes, which is unheard of, and then I had a day and a half to QC the entire project and just take it line by line and go through and like, oh, okay, let's take a different take and splice that together with this one to really get the flow. And that is really unheard of nowadays, is to get the time and money to do that as well.
So have any of you ever had a character voice just picked out in your mind? You've got the script, you're going, oh, I've got the perfect voice for this, and you come up with it, and you present it to the director, and he goes, no, that's not it. And if that's happened, what was your reaction? How'd you even deal with that?
I don't think I've had that happen before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever created a character voice where I'm like, this is it, this is perfect, I'm going to book it. No, I don't think that's happened for me. I mean, I've had things I've booked, but I don't think I've ever thought it was perfect.
I've had it happen in session, usually not for like booking or auditions. If you audition with a character and you get it, then you usually are brought there to perform that character. But if you go in to do a bunch of characters, like secondary NPCs in a video game or a series, they'll like show you art or give you a brief description, like, all right, he's about late 30s and he's nice, but he doesn't want his stuff stolen. And so you're like, all right, I'll give him kind of sort of a gruff, sort of a hey, I'll say some stuff feel. And it's like, okay, no. Younger, softer sounding, soft palate. You're like, okay, some more like up here, like, no. In between the two. So yeah, you get that kind of trying to find the voice. If it's a character that's dropped on you on the spot, per se. But yeah, for things you audition for, it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, and then sometimes when you're actually in the booth and you're working on a project, you'll have this brilliant idea as an actor. And I was on the show Kill la Kill. I played Senketsu, and there's this one episode where, you guys remember the Micro Machines man? Okay, he talks really, oh my God, he talks really fast. And so there's this whole scene that I do where I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles a minute. And so we had worked for basically 4 hours recording this scenario where I'm talking really fast. And then it comes to the very end, and I had to say this line at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I had this brilliant idea of after the end of it going, like, and I thought that literally I was going to bring the house down, and it was like crickets, and Alex Von David looks at me and goes, no.
But as an actor, you have to be able to, I mean, it's great to go in with an idea of what you want, but then if they say, no, the hardest thing is like we're all very fragile up here. We're very actors are fragile and dangerous, but fragile for the most part. And so it's really hard not to let your ego get involved or to be so hurt by somebody saying, no, that's not right. Try something else. And that moment of panic of, oh my God, they hate me. They're not going to give me. I'm going to get fired. It's like, no, this is your job. So it's like, okay, all right, let's see what else we come up with. So you don't try not to take it personally. You just okay, what else? They'll be like, what else you got? Like, I got this, I got this, I got this. And you just keep throwing stuff at the wall until something sticks. And eventually it will. Just don't get discouraged,
Yeah. There's a certain level of
skin.
Yeah, there's a certain level of trust you have to have in your director because you as an actor only see but a small facet of the entire production. And so while something may seem right to you or work better in your mind, with the context you have, the director sees the entire tapestry of all the performances coming together. That's a large part of their job. And so even though you sometimes may disagree with the better element of the take, you have to trust to know that they know what works better in the overall portrait they're putting together of voices.
The hardest part, too, is like having that soundproof glass, like when we're talking about fragility here, or fragile, I don't know, words.
Fragility.
I also got
Fragile, it's a major award.
It must be Italian.
It must be Italian.
But like when you have that soundproof glass, and I mean, I had this one session, and then after that session, I had a dry spell. So I was like questioning myself because it was a nightmare. I was recording for this show, and the script, there was one line that took 45 minutes to record, and half of that time was spent in silence because they were arguing over the script, and I was just sitting there like, I'm going to get fired. I'm so fired. I'm never going to work again. I'm going to die in a ditch, and no one's going to love me. And yeah, but I mean, obviously it worked out, I hope. But I mean, yeah, you don't know everything that goes on. So the silence isn't necessarily at your expense. It's not them like talking about how horrible you are. It's just them talking about what they're going to do to fix this problem that you're having that isn't necessarily your fault.
Or what are they going to have for lunch?
That too. Hopefully not for 45 minutes, though.
It's hard sometimes. Granville, Olive Garden.
It's all wacky pet stories. We figured it out earlier. It's all wacky pet stories they talk about behind the glass. So obviously there's auditioning that still has to take place in every actor's life. How do you deal with the frustrations of not getting parts or just in general dealing with the industry? What do you do to deal with the frustrations?
Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, I come from the background of being like an anime fan, so at first I took it a little bit hard, but like they were singing, you kind of just have to let it go after a while. I've kind of learned to not watch a lot of the more recent stuff so I don't get attached. But yeah, that's kind of just what I do. Yeah.
I have like developed, I'm sure we all have this short-term memory loss where we do this really great audition and then as soon as it's sent you completely forget about it.
Yep.
I sent off an audition for something, I don't even remember.
Exactly.
But my roommate asked me like 2 weeks later, oh hey, did you ever hear back on what? And I was like, what are you even talking about? It had completely disappeared from my mind, but that's like that's my coping mechanism is to just forget about it.
Yeah, it's a career of perpetual rejection. Perpetual. Those of us who work pretty continuously in this industry are booking one out of every 20, 30, 60 auditions, it's so much rejection that you have to be able to just let it go after each audition. That way, if it doesn't happen, it's the water off a duck's back. If it does happen, it's a cool surprise.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Exactly. I tell people who are asking me about getting into the industry and whatnot that your job as an actor is to audition. That's what you do. That's your job. If you want to be a voice actor specifically, your job is to audition. And then, yeah, exactly as Matt said, you book the job, you're like, gravy,
I actually get paid for this job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 80% of an actor's life is auditioning. That's it. And you have to let it go. You've got to, again, hard with fragile people who want to be liked and loved, but and approved and validated. And it's just, you just have to do that to yourself and just be like, I gave a great audition. A great audition. At least I thought it was. Let it go, move on to the next, and maybe use that voice for another job. That voice you came up with may not work for that job, but you may have discovered something in yourself that you didn't realize you could do. You're like, ooh, I got to hold on to that one because that may not work for this, but it might work for this, and that'll be the one that, oh, you've got 4 seasons worth of work, So you just have to let it go and keep exploring what you can in your own range, I guess.
And on a similar note to that, another reason, I mean, that I just sort of have the, I've forgotten about it, I sent it out and I forgot, is because if you sit and try to think about it, like, let's say, okay, I sent it out, I'm going to think about it for like 2 weeks. I've auditioned for things in like October, and then the next February I get a call being like, hey, you booked that thing. What was I gonna do? Sit and obsess about it for the 2 years until it comes out that I know for a fact I didn't get it? Nah, that's just, and also you can do a really good audition and not get the part, and then again, a few months down the road, they're like, hey, we wanna book you for that for this thing. And you're like, what thing? Oh, we used your audition for that other character because it was perfect for this guy. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So you just do your best and forget.
So, personal question. What type of character do you actually prefer doing? Boy, girl? I don't know about you, David. I don't know if the girls are going to really line up for you, but, voice-wise, what do you prefer? Serious, happy, villain, hero? What do you guys prefer?
The one that pays.
Yeah.
Good answer. The one that makes the paper.
That's right.
Yeah, they all have, their benefits. There's fun parts to every character. I don't know.
I like voicing boys. That's my thing. I relate more to male characters. My favorite character that I voiced was in this little anime called Squid Girl, and he thank you. I got paid $150 to say the word poop like 20 times, so it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Like, life goal unlocked, done. I don't need to act anymore, honestly. Like,
Do you get an achievement for that? Like, trophy
That's
system
an
pop
achievement
up?
unlocked, if you ask me.
no, actually, like when I got paid, somebody was there with a trophy and my check. Like that, it was a real life achievement unlocked.
Nice. So for the process of recording, walk us through a little bit about the day in the life. So when you're going into the studio or doing it at home for the audition, what's the day in the life of a voice actor in anime?
Usually I wake up and cry for an hour.
Yeah, self-loathing's a big part of it.
Well, there's we all do very different things. There's the life of a director, there's the life of the writer, there's the life of an actor, there's what do you want to hear?
So for your actual voiceover, for doing the voiceover, what do you do to prep to get ready for the role? What do you do when you're actually in the studio?
Vocal warm-ups.
Yeah.
On the way to it, for me personally, if I'm going to a session, most sessions from my place are about anywhere from a half an hour to an hour drive, depending on traffic. I have playlists in my phone that match the type of character I'm going to go in. So if it's like a smoother, higher voice, I'll go for more Radiohead, softer vocal timbre, and just warm up in that range. If it's more gruff, bestial, I'll put on like some Mike Patton, Mr. Bungle, or something really weird and kind of that'll just get you warmed up. So warm-ups are a big part to make sure that when you show up, you're ready to go because you're expected to go.
Yeah, but a lot of times with anime, you don't know what you're doing. You walk in, you haven't read a script, you don't know, you're like, the show. Sometimes they won't even tell you the show. It's just come on in and do your thing. And they'll throw a lot of different characters at you. So you do the one main role, and then you end up doing this other one. Oh, we've got this other character for you. Like, okay. So again, it's that whole idea of, I always recommend people taking improv classes, just so your mind is always flexible and open to your own creative suggestion and those who are around you, what they demand for. So sometimes you just don't know. And you sit, and in terms of, you get the script in front of you, you talk at the TV, you get 3 beeps, you talk on that imaginary 4th beep, and hopefully you get it, you lock it in. And if not, they can use Pro Tools to stretch it, compress it, splice takes together. It's really fun.
Mary makes a good point, though, when she said, there's the life of the actor, the director, and the writer, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily different people. Because, as actors, you're not going to be working every single day, depending on your voice type or what.
Speak for yourself.
I've betrayed myself. But, you have to diversify your skill set. And I was telling someone earlier today, you're not a failure just because you take a step back and you try and reprioritize what you're good at. Like, for whatever reason, for a while, acting wasn't working for me. So I started taking over roles in my husband and I's production company for his YouTube channel. And now I work as a producer. And I also opened up an agency to represent actors that go to conventions. And we have retail stuff. And we do all sorts of things. And like, as long as I'm paying the bills and I'm having fun and I get to like still do what I want to do, which is acting and working in the entertainment industry, I'm successful, in my opinion. And I think everybody, you know, like, so don't feel bad if you have to get a job at Walmart in order to make the ends meet, because it's way less cool to be homeless than not an actor for like a couple months, you know?
Nice. What projects do you guys have right now that you're working on or that's coming out soon that you can actually talk about? Pesky NDAs aside.
Girls for life.
Hunter x Hunter's on Toonami right now. I play Gon in that, like I mentioned earlier. Your Lie in April, I play Tsubaki in that, and that's on Netflix, along with a bunch of other things that I'm in. Sailor Moon SRS, I think. Whatever one Sailor Uranus is in. I don't know when that's coming out, but it should be soon. But yeah, that's what I got.
I whatever the one you're in of Sailor Moon, I am also in that one because I'm Talu, so that. And and there's a Kickstarter for a game that I'm providing a voice in, as is Erica here, called Undead Darlings. So you could go Google that and maybe contribute to the Kickstarter. They're doing pretty good, and they've got like 20-ish days left. But it's really cute. It's like about zombie girls that still have their humanity, so they're not brain dead. It's cool. And then I have a bunch of stuff I can't talk about. Yay!
Yeah, I also have a couple games I can't talk about. But Lego Friends, like I said, if you're 8 years old and a girl and you want to watch some Lego Friends, go for it. Otherwise, you could check out my husband's channel, Little Karibo. He has a Patreon as well. Yeah, a few of you know him, so.
Yeah, that NDA is a real nasty one.
What if you told me and I could tell them what you're working on? Then you wouldn't be, oh no, because you would have told me.
I think that would still be a problem. But no, I appreciate the offer.
Okay.
It's really sweet of you.
All right, we could both go to jail. It'd be great.
Yeah, well, as long as we're together.
Together.
We wouldn't be together. We'd be in separate
I know.
prisons. It's a terrible idea. Hunter x Hunter, which has been a really fun project. I tend to play a lot of roguish, low voice characters, so being able to pick up Leorio, which is more of a comedic range, was a lot of fun. Overwatch, I mentioned earlier, just came out. Really excited about that one.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I have my laptop in my hotel room to play. It's a problem.
Should have done the same thing.
Let's see, World of Warcraft Legion's coming out soon. There might be some cool things in there. You may hear a familiar voice soon. And Wabbit, the Bugs Bunny cartoon, I think season 2 is now going to go in production soon, so good to hear more of that coming up in the future. And the regular show, the next season of the regular show, I'm all throughout that on Adult Swim, so those are fun things to look forward to. Yay!
Oh, and then there's Critical Role. What is that, Matt, that you do?
Critical Role, that's just yeah! We got critters in the audience. That makes me happy.
I told you.
Crit Roll. Crit Roll is a live stream every Thursday night on Geek and Sundry's Twitch, where I dungeon master for a group of voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons weekly, usually, rolling dice and being huge nerds, and you should check it out. This lady has guested a few times and plays a fantastic tiefling warlock.
I've killed things. Laura Bailey hates me because I have 2 kill shots. She's like, really? Really?
You robbed him.
Yep. Each time.
Boom. I do have, the other stuff I know I can't say, but I've got one, and I just sent an email like literally 5 minutes before this asking, can I please announce this? And they haven't gotten back to me, so I can't announce that either. But it's coming out very soon. So yeah, stay tuned.
Okay, we're working on season 2 of Pen Zero Part-Time Hero, which is really wonderful and fun and awesome. I got to direct there's a big launch of World of Warcraft Legion, and I got to direct that for a while, which was really amazing, along with some, I can't say that. And then I am working on, Disney's doing a series based on the movie Tangled. And I'm directing that, and we got the whole cast back, so it's really exciting. So look for that in 2017. It should be unbelievable. Alan Menken's doing the music, and there was a whole press release, so I'm not violating any NDAs. So I'm good. I'm good.
That's awesome.
And then stuff next year I cannot wait to talk about, and I can't, but I'm so excited.
Should have totally set up a D&D game before we actually got started and just did that for the
Oh, we've
panel.
been doing that this whole time. Roll for initiative.
I'm okay. The reason I got 3 hours of sleep was because of last night's D&D game. I'm good for right now.
I was up till 2 o'clock here watching. I was like, will somebody kill somebody, please? I've got to go to bed. It's so great.
All right, last bit of advice going for everybody out there that's thinking about getting into voiceover, that wants to get into either on the gaming side, the anime side, or just get into it anywhere they can. What advice do you have for them?
Okay, there's a website. D. Bradley Baker is a genius voice actor. You've heard him in everything. If you don't realize it, you have. So there's a website that you could put into your phone right now called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. It is D's blog. It's a $10,000 masterclass for free that he updates all the time. This is one of the greatest all-working, all-the-time actors out there right now, and his advice is invaluable. It really is. That and take acting classes. That's all I can say.
Like I said, acting classes, learning the basics of performance art. Voiceover, or being a voice actor, is 90% actor, 10% voice. It's good to have funny textures and accents, but you need to have the strong performance ability beneath all that to be competitive. And it is a very competitive industry. It's a wonderful industry. But if you want to make a living at it, you're going to be stepping into the ring with us. So you want to make sure you come in there ready to put your best foot forward. And to do that, you really have to have some good experience learning how to interpret copy, how to study characterization, and dialogue, knowing how to cold read. Cold reading is so important. Most of the time, we don't get the script until we show up to the session, and the director goes, all right, go. So you have to learn to be comfortable just making strong, bold acting choices and performing as you read the line for the first or second time.
Yep.
Also, like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, like, when you're a voice actor, it's not only about versatility. The important thing is that you're comfortable with your own voice first and foremost, and then from there, you can build healthy voices on top of that by, adding textures or adding accents or speech impediments or something like that. That's how, like, because I have a panel on vocal technique, and, like, one of the common questions I always get is, how do I create unique voices like Invader Zim? And I'm like, that's just Richard Forbes. Yeah. That's what he sounds like. So you be born sounding like that, and then you'll be an Invader Zim, you know what I mean? So be comfortable with who you are and what you sound like, and then from there you can create marketable voices that you can use in anime, video games, and television.
Bravo. Yeah, that's a good mic drop right there. I'm good. I'm done.
I love that meme. Those who drop a mic have never owned a mic or paid for a mic.
Yeah.
It's like,
I would say that about checking controllers, but it happens with gamers.
I love you, baby.
Softly lay down the mic.
I'm so sorry.
All right, no. So, final question for you guys. Project that hasn't been done before, that hasn't been dubbed, video game, anime, one that you just said, that's me. I need to be in that. What is it?
Magus Chrono Trigger.
that'd be so good.
If you
Something that hasn't been done.
Say the question again?
What take one anime or one video game that hasn't been dubbed yet, or even that you want to redub? What would you redub?
Final Fantasy VIII, because I love Final Fantasy VIII. And there's sort of voices for Squall, but I would be Keistis personally, so I'm good. That's what I would want. There we go. There is no English voice today that I know of.
this is cheating, but if they ever somehow re-release Dragon Age, like an HQ'd version of Dragon Age Origins with a voiced main character, I want to be the female warden so I can get it on with Alistair.
There you go.
I'm so excited. I'm going to Magic City Con in like 2 weeks, and I'm going to meet that guy, and it's going to be real awkward, but it's okay. I'll keep myself contained. I got this.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Final Fantasy VIII also, because it's my first Final Fantasy and I really love it. I'd be anyone, like I don't care. I'd be the Moombas. I don't care. Anyone.
I love him.
I want to be a female Nathan Drake. Uncharted 4. That doesn't have to have big boobs. For once, I would like to play a character that doesn't have to have boobs the size of watermelons. That would be nice. I don't understand. I just went in to do this other show that I can't talk about. And this woman's breasts, it's like, I mean, they were like 2 heads on each side. And she kept standing there, and I was like, she couldn't stand up straight if she had those knockers. There's not a chance. She'd be like dead straight up. I was like, no. She'd be like one of those birds that bobs in for your drink. A boobless heroine is who I would play. Or a boob that takes heroin.
Hashtag Mary is Femdrake. Yeah. Make it happen.
Yes, make it happen, Lord.
If they did a remake, I would have to play Faye Valentine.
Yes!
Because I want the boobs, trust me.
Good balance.
Yes,
Good balance.
we're reaching, we're stretching our
We
abilities.
could do a mashup, Drake.
So I'm seeing a second Kickstarter idea here. Drake, Faye Valentine.
Well charted. Unbebop.
For people wanting to follow you that's not already, how do they get in touch with you guys and find you? Twitter, YouTube, Roku.
At Mary E. McGlynn on Twitter.
At David Vincent VA for voice actor. At David Vincent VA. On Twitter.
At Matthew Mercer on Twitter.
Twitter.
At Marianne Miller. It's kind of tricky to spell, so just check your program guide on Twitter.
Yes.
At Laura Post Voice on Twitter, and also there's a Facebook fan page. Laura Post -- voice actor. Those are both of my things. I don't do the other things. I'm old.
I'm at Sundarica. It's a mashup if you know the word tsundere, and then my name. So it's Sundarica. Yeah.
All right, great. And you guys are here for signings?
Yeah.
What's everybody's signing schedule?
Sorry.
No, I don't know.
The one question we immediately know the
Yeah.
answer to. Well, I have a booth in the dealer's hall with my husband, booth 325. I'm usually there from 10 to 7, so say hi if you want.
I have autographs tomorrow, 11:30 to 12:30, and 2 to 3, and then Sunday 12 to 1, and then the Aniplex booth. We've got a special signing at 2:30.
Yep. I've got autographs tomorrow from 2 to 3:30, and then Sunday 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and then the Aniplex one.
I've got autographs at 7 p.m. in like 20 minutes. And then tomorrow at 2 to 3:30 p.m. and then Sunday 11:30 to 12:30 p.m.
Oh my God.
I got autographs also at 7 p.m. In 20 minutes with Mr. Mercer. And then I've got them tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and then at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and on Sunday, I can't read. Oh, at 11:30 a.m. and then we have a special Kill the Kill at the Aniplex booth at 2:30 p.m. as well.
I've got tomorrow 12:30 to 2, 4 to 5, and 7 to 8:30. So come by at 7 and we'll just talk, because this is not going to be anything left. We also have a Critical Role panel tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. So come by and And then tomorrow there's a script reading, which should be really crazy at 5:30, I think. I'm not sure who all is involved, but it's all of us doing stupid impersonations, reading like The Wizard of Oz or something. So it should be really fun. So come by, and if you see a volunteer or a staff member, please thank them, because they're the ones taking such good care of us and of you. So thank you, guys.
And everybody give it up for the voice acting for anime crew. Big round of applause.